Godzilla has pummeled Hollywood, and the question now becomes, will Hollywood learn from their defeat? You might say, well, now wait a minute, Pro. Godzilla Minus One didn't do that great at the box office. Well, when you consider the number of screens it had, and you consider the fact that it's entirely in Japanese, and you consider the fact that it didn't have any marketing at all, yeah, Godzilla did wonderful. And now, Toho, the studio behind Godzilla, is proving once more that they understand audiences in a way that Hollywood can only pretend and imagine to ever be able to comprehend. We'll show you exactly what Toho is up to next that may make Godzilla fans even more in love with everything they have coming out in the future. Hello folks, welcome back to the WDW Pro channel. What a joy it is that you are here with us. A pleasure as always. And the pleasure is all ours when it comes to Toho and what they are doing with Godzilla Minus One. They are not allowed to continue to have the movie out in 2024 due to contractual obligations. That said, they have largely saved December along with The Boy and the Heron and Wonka at a time when Disney has went absent and maybe fans are truly fatigued with superheroes. Well, no, not all superheroes, just the bad ones, and just the bad ones are all we seem to lately get. But Godzilla Minus One is so good that we're here to tell you that a sequel, should it get the proper amount of marketing spend, the proper number of screens and all of that, get ready, it could explode into the hundreds of millions of dollars and easily become the biggest foreign film of all time upon our golden domestic shores, where Hollywood has abandoned the virtues and values of America, but Japan remembers them still. Let's take a look at this article from James Whitbrook out of Gizmodo. Godzilla Minus One is getting a glorious black and white re-release. Unfortunately, folks, because of the contractual obligations, it will only go out in theaters for Japan. The best sci-fi movie of 2023 is already making an early play for the best sci-fi movie of 2024 on a technicality. After its unprecedented international success, Godzilla Minus One is returning to Japanese theaters for a special release in black and white, brilliantly named Minus One Minus Color. And yes, that is brilliant. That is genius marketing. The re-release is intended to evoke the original 1954 Godzilla movie, which makes sense given Minus One was made for Big G's 69th and 70th anniversaries after all. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that absolutely beautiful, folks? I mean, just take a look at this trailer. This is the stuff that dreams are made of. That is awesome. I mean, that is just flat out awesome. And I wish it could come out here. I hope that we'll get the black and white version streaming here somewhere. And if not, you know what? I'm going to find a way to set my TV to be black and white only. Thank you for that, Gizmodo. And we will continue to cover all of the success of Toho, which, by the way, has purchased a South Korean studio additionally as they're preparing to grow and grow. And you know what? If Hollywood's not willing to make great content, so be it. We'll buy the stuff from other places like Japan that still know how to do so. But folks, let's bring on the panel now. We've got a panel. Let's bring the panel on and let's talk about Godzilla Minus One and whether or not Hollywood is going to learn anything from this, or are they just going to have their lunch eaten over and over and over? I think you know the answer. The panel's here to explain why. I suspect that the ripple effect through Hollywood right now, having Japan taking two of the top three spots at the box office, I think it's a bigger deal than the average person understands. I think this has been a major event. Have you gathered that from your contacts? I think we've lost script for the moment. We'll come back to it.
Sorry, one second. I'm sorry, guys. That was my mistake. I think it's great for Japan. I think it unfortunately has the consequence of putting them on the radar for targeting by some of these people that are pushing certain ideologies. It is going to happen. Just recently, Japanese dancers and influencers started twerking for the first time.
I saw that too.
That is your red flag right there. That things are going to go south. It's not going to be quick.
Let's hope not, because I'm enjoying.
It's going to happen.
I'm enjoying the entertainment that calls back to when we made good movies. So I'd like to
continue
that on
even
as
for
long
me,
as
like
possible.
My channel obviously has a lot of video game stuff too. Like in terms of video games, especially, dude, the Japanese stuff is just killing it, and it's so devoid of pandering, and it's just fun and interesting. And then I go and play like a AAA Western game, and it's just identity politics and nonsense all the time. Like, good example of that would be Spider-Man 2. Anyone who's played that knows. Even Alan Wake 2, which I unfortunately beat. And then if you want a game that's from Japan, completely devoid of wokeness and is amazing, Final Fantasy 16.
So
And
the
then
question being is that
yeah.
would those games from Japan that you love, would they actually compete well with the best games made in the West within the last 10 years?
Oh yeah.
They would blow them out of the water, because there's a difference between being successful when the competition is failing and being successful when the competition is thriving.
True.
And that's one thing
That's true,
that's different with Hollywood. Right now, Hollywood is on recovery. Disney is the one that's really just staying where they want to stay. All the other studios, you'd be hard pressed to find the vast majority of the stuff they released hitting the woke and identity politics stuff these days. You really will. Like, name the last Sony movie that was blatantly as woke as, say, the Marvels. Like, you can't.
Last one's probably Ghostbusters 2016, which is a long time ago.
Which was a long time ago. They haven't really repeated that since. Hollywood has, by and large, has gotten the message. Disney is just closing its ears. And again, Hollywood is going to slowly rebound off of this if they stay the course. Whatever happens in the social stratosphere or the political stratosphere that could cause it to be shot back, there's nothing we as an audience can really do except for go seek alternative sources of entertainment.
What I always tell my viewers is, if you want things to change, you have to vote with your wallet. You have to. Otherwise, nothing will change.
It's the only vote they pay attention to.
Exactly. And I remember when I was on Drinker and Mahler's podcast last time, and we were talking about what is the next meta for Hollywood? You know, like you have the Western. Now you have the superhero movies. What's the next meta? And I think Drinker was right where he said the next meta is video games. And we're seeing a really big resurgence, adaptations of a lot of things coming out. Some things are successful. Sonic the Hedgehog, for example, Mario. I think Fallout's just going to be, I'm really skeptical about that one. And I think that's the next big meta that's going to be happening. And I think hopefully there's not a lot of pandering, but I mean, I'm being too hopeful. It definitely will be.
I think you're totally right, because
Yeah.
if you look at the market right now, they're not saying, "Oh, it's another video game movie. We're going to judge it as if all video game movies are failures." Sega right now is obviously gearing up the Sonic cinematic universe. They're working on a Knuckles film. They've just announced a date for Sonic 3, and kids are going to go gaga over that. Super Mario Brothers. Nintendo can expand as quickly as they want to, and they'll make a bunch of money for a while, regardless of quality. Which seems like the quality will be there, but whatever. There's a debate with the live action,
and then that's also replenishing Sega, because Sega has come out and announced a vast number of titles that were sitting sort of in the cellar that are coming forth. I for one am excited. If
Radio
they can make
Future,
a good Crazy Taxi, yeah,
Crazy Taxi.
My favorite
Golden
Sega franchise is Yakuza, or Like a Dragon, I guess you call it now. But
mm-hmm.
I don't know if they'd ever make a movie out of that or a TV show. Although I would love it.
I'll go for Panzer Dragoon.
And you know what I would love to revive out of the depths? That would be our wonderful friend here, Mr. Tom Connors from Midnight's Edge.
Tom, it's nice to see you finally
from my slumber.
It's fine. Well, it's nice to see you actually doing a streaming show at noon Eastern. You guys have never done this before, have you?
Oh, you guys are just trying to kill me.
Glad to have you here, Tom. Olaf Van Ness, member for 8 months. Yeah, Disney has a marketing department that invented a new audience that only exists on paper, that doesn't watch or spend any money on their products. Yeah,
Yep.
that seems to be the case.
100%.
Well, I just wanted to add something in here, going off of Scripps' point about Japan doing so well this weekend at the box office. They did great, but I think the bigger story is how bad Hollywood did.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That was what I was pointing out yesterday morning, was how you take all the top films out of the top 10, you have to combine like 4 of them to get $20 million. That's generally what the number one movie makes on average, if not more. So right now, I think Scripps making a better point is that, yes, Japan's doing good. It's great. But like I tell a lot of people, and I get a lot of pushback from this, the anime and stuff coming from Japan is doing good, but it's not on a level or a scale where it's going to take over the industry or something like that.
Well, let me push back on that, and you guys tell me what you think about it. It's okay to totally happy for you guys to disagree. Why I see this as being more poignant, perhaps, than some, is that those Japanese films, especially Godzilla, are not set up for the pattern of success we would typically see. So they don't have the screens. They largely did not have the premium formatting given to them. They didn't have the marketing behind them at all. And Godzilla, that's subtitled. You have to watch it in audio Japanese. So the fact that they're doing what they're doing, I think, is impressive enough that it may convince somebody out there to give these movies a chance, whereas they did not in the past. So it's kind of like it opened the door for a Godzilla -1 sequel to come in there now and actually have some teeth to it, provided by marketing and distributors and all of that.
Which
well, I
is
think
very
that works.
possible.
One thing that you have to also note is compared to, say, Marvel, there hasn't been much of a gap between Godzilla movies. There's like one every year in some form, it feels like. They got the Toho films, you got the American films. Why is there no Godzilla fatigue?
Because we
The
love
answer
our
is that
big
they're
lizard.
good.
Because he's powered by radioactivity.
No, but
that's
Script's
part
got
of
a
the
good
lore.
point, and this is kind of where I was going with it too. Is
Oh, sorry, go
Godzilla's no, you're right. I'm just saying Godzilla's like an exception to the rule. You cannot hold Godzilla. Now, if we get 3 or 4, let's see how 3 or 4 films that are not attached to an IP like Godzilla do when they come over here from Japan. They probably won't do jack squat because nobody's going to pay attention or have a reason to. But if it's attached to a huge anime series or Godzilla, that's a little bit different. But that's the same problem that got us here where we're at right now, is that there's this thing, and I'm sure Script knows what I'm talking about. This, I don't know if this is the exact terminology they would use in the room when they're listening to a pitch, but they want audience awareness, basically. And this comes from basically my advertising side of things, but I can imagine it's the same kind of in the movie room. And this is where they won't do original material anymore. Their first thing is, well, is there audience awareness? Well, that's why everything that gets greenlit or released in the US and theaters anymore is a sequel, a prequel, a spin-off, or something attached to something else, and it's nothing original because they want some sort of audience awareness going into it, right? It's the same thing with the old remake style they used to do. It's like, why not make something original? Why? Because the audience isn't going to come see something original. They think they'd rather come see a remake.
Yeah.
Well, and then I'll throw out Child's Play versus Megan for you, right? Where I said when Child's Play came out, I said the problem with this remake is that it's freaking Child's Play. If they took all the Child's Play out of it, it would be an original film. Hence, they made Megan, which was all that original stuff that was in Child's Play. They didn't put in its own movie until Megan, and Megan did 10 times better than Child's Play. Is that going to work every time? No. But Hollywood used to take those chances, and they're not going to take those chances. What they'll probably do, and I don't know if Script will agree with this or not, is just start importing a bunch of stuff just because these did okay.
Yeah.
Right? But that doesn't mean they're going to do well.
Well, that's kind of what they're...
If anything, it'll destroy any possibility Japanese films had here in the U.S. anyway. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right, folks, that's a wrap for today. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you had a good time. We had a ravaging, romping, stomping kind of good fun here, and that's all because of Godzilla. We hope we get more of this. I can't wait for Godzilla -2. We'll find out if we get one. I will definitely be going if it arrives, and I have theories about what would be in the sequel. I have some big theories. Maybe that's a video. Should we do a video on that? Let us know down in the comments below. And meanwhile, on your way out, click like, share, subscribe. And yes, when you click it, you stick it to the algorithms. It's the notification bell. Folks, have a great holiday time. Enjoy your Christmas breaks. Enjoy your time with family and friends. And if you can, spend some time being kind and good to others. I promise you, although the materialists might say otherwise, although the nihilists want you to believe there's no good in the world and everything is relative and only what you perceive, I'm here to tell you that there is a moral landscape, and it really does matter. Get out there and bring pleasure and joy to others. Be kind. And yes, even stop and pet the cat. All right, folks, that's a wrap for today. Don't be like Godzilla. Even though he's really cool, don't bring a path of destruction. Bring good in this world. Wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.